What is up, Bomber Nation? What's Rum Hunt Nation? How are you doing? It's your boy Nick back again, reporting back from the Rum Hut. And as you can see, or as you can probably tell, I am so absolutely ecstatic because we are one sleep away from the start of the Blue Bomber season, the start of the CFL season. Football is back, baby. I cannot wait. So, strap in. I'm going to talk a little bit today about matchup, who's starting, who's not. And then after that, I'm just going to kind of give my general thoughts and predictions on the game. If you are enjoying this type of content, and if you've never seen this channel before, just so you know, I am going to be here all season long. I'm going to be talking Bombers. I am going to be talking about CFL. I am going to be talking about everything under the sun when it comes to Canadian football. May get into a little bit of NFL eventually, but for now we are going to concentrate on just the CFL, and I'm going to try and put out the absolute best content I can for you guys. Once again, I ask you guys, please hit the like and subscribe button if you like this kind of content, and enjoy the video. Today the Bombers put out their starting lineup. Awesome for me, so we get to talk about it. Finally, we get to see what a full lineup looks like for the 2024 season. Not every week's going to look the same, obviously, but it's incredible to finally see who's won the starting positions in some of those position matchups or position battles in camp that we've been talking about on the channel for a little while now. So starting at the quarterback position, no surprises here. Zach Collaros, not the MOP last year, but he was arguably the best quarterback last season. Starting for your Bombers, Chris Streveler backing him up with Terry Wilson as the third string, who will not see the field barring injury. Cross our fingers. Running back Brady starting, finally back from injury. So great news to see Brady starting with Augustine as the backup. That I think is one of the best Canadian tandems that we've seen in the CFL. So very confident in both those positions. I think that as long as we stay healthy, we should be at the top of the league or near the top of the league in both those departments. With the other most important positions would be the offensive line, are arguably more important. Returning once again, Stanley Bryant, All-Star Stanley Bryant, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer Stanley Bryant. It looks like left guard has been won by Liam Dobson. We've been kind of waiting for this. He was drafted, I think, last season, and I think he's played some, and I think that he is. They have him tabbed as going to be the next starter for a long time here. So that's great to see that they have faith in him. Kolinkowski. He had an excellent first season. I think he signed a new contract this year to stay with the Bombers, and really happy to see that he's back. Neufeld, the grizzled veteran, he's going to basically keep the interior together, probably be the quarterback of the offensive line. This man is ageless, so very happy to have Neufeld there. And the one position that was kind of up for grabs was the right tackle position. Eric Lofton has appeared to have won the position battle. So that is the one position I'm going to keep my eyes on. That is the number one concern, I think, on offense for this game, to see how the right tackle holds up, Eric Lofton. If you're not familiar, and this is we have talked a bit about him on the channel, or haven't seen the video, or haven't been following as closely, the Bombers lost Jamarcus Hardrick in the offseason to the Riders. In my opinion, a very shrewd move. The Bombers went and picked up Eric Lofton, who was the right tackle for the Riders last year. So as long as he can be a serviceable and maybe improve from last season, I think that he could be a great addition, and definitely a cheaper option than Jamarcus Hardrick. So obviously we're a little bit sad to see Yoshi depart Bomberland, but it should be good to see a new face in there, somebody who's a little bit younger, and maybe have a little bit more longevity on this O-line for the years to come. Getting into the receiver position, we've got Kenny Lawler, we've got Wolotarski, we've got Schoen, we've got Dembski. Those are our returning starters. The new guys, we've got Ontario Wilson out of FSU, and we've got Myron Mitchell, who's also returning kicks. So that'll be super interesting to see how these guys can perform. Obviously, one of these guys is going to be replacing the departed Rashid Bailey. So that spot was up for grabs in training camp, and it appears that they've won it. So it'll be very interesting to see if these guys can make a big impact. Maybe, in my eyes, I think Rashid was a very, very, you could trust him. He's a very trustworthy receiver. He was an excellent blocker. I wouldn't say he was the most dynamic, in a sense, where he would not, go off for those big, 100-yard games, or, he didn't really get the opportunities per se, but at some point, if you're not open, or the guy who's open gets the ball. So in my eyes, you may not have gotten the yards or gotten the opportunities, but if you were open more, I would have to think that, the quarterback would throw it to him. So, hasn't put up great numbers in the past year or so. So getting some new blood in there with Ontario Wilson and Myron Mitchell, I think is going to be a good addition. Obviously, maybe a little bit more explosive, can put up some bigger numbers or get make some more explosive plays. I think that's kind of what they're hoping for. Will we see that? Impossible to know, but aside from those guys, obviously Lawler, Dembski, Schoen, Wolotarski, I would say we're nearly the best, or if not the best, in the top two for receiving cores for this season. So I think that will be solid there. All right, guys, now switching over to the defensive side of the ball. Want to talk a little bit about the D-line. D-line looks a little different than last year with Jeff Coat leaving. Celestin Haba looks to have won that position, or is starting at least. I wouldn't read too much into that, because there will be quite a bit of substitutions with the Bombers, especially at the D-line position and defensive end. They tend to change it, snap to snap. So Haba might be starting, but you're going to see lots of guys there. There's going to be tons of players playing at that defensive end position on both sides. On the interior of the D-line, you've got obviously Jake Thomas, the ageless, the guy who's like the least athletic looking player on the field, but you can't stop the guy. He's amazing. So that position locked down. Schmeckel behind him looks very similar to Jake Thomas, kind of scary. So I really like that position. Both Canadian players, and I think that they'll definitely fill that role very, very well. Then you've got Fox and Woods, so two rookie defensive tackles. Very, very excited to see how they're going to perform. Actually, you know what? I don't know if Fox is a rookie. I know Woods for sure is. I know I did a rookie video this week. I probably should have Googled this and see if Fox is a rookie or not. I probably will. Actually, let me quickly Google it. Very professional of me. I know. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, because I clearly didn't look very closely. Now, I'm not going to make too much of this starting lineup, because on defense, there's so many different packages. They move things around. Like, it's not going to look like this. There's so many different other scenarios where they're going to have 6 DBs out there. Times where they're going to have 4 linebackers. Probably times there's 3 D line. There's so many different packages that they may choose to employ. So it is interesting that they have Shane Gauthier as the starting middle linebacker. He did play starting middle linebacker a bit last year when Big Hill was out. So I'm pretty confident in him there. I could also see them playing I believe his name is Jamal Ayers. He's the American that made the team out of camp. I could see him playing a bit this game as well. Maybe more in some passing down situations where they need a little bit more speed out of that position. Another really, I would say, without repeating myself too much, because I say interesting all the time. Retta Cramdy, they have him at Sam linebacker. Primarily, he plays dime. So maybe they're just putting that in a spot where they'd have nowhere else to put it. So that would I would assume that's going to be kind of where they had nowhere else to put it, I suppose. So I guess that's kind of what they deem as the dime linebacker on this depth chart. And then we got Brian Cole behind him. So they'll probably switch out kind of on passing down situations. They'll have a 6th DB out there. And then they'll put in Cole on kind of more running downs. They've got Wilson. They've got Kyrie Wilson starting on the other side at will linebacker. So no surprises there. Getting into the DBs, you've got Terrell Ford, Evan Holm, Brandon Alexander, Nichols, and the rookie Bonds at the other corner position. So pretty much the same as last season, except for the corners. Terrell Ford was in the States playing. I believe he was with Detroit. Came back and assumes his role at the starting corner position. And then we're going to see Bonds playing his regular season debut, so that'll be really exciting to see. You know, I thought that our DB or corners were actually probably our weak point last year, especially in the Grey Cup when they just let them march down the field. There was really no they couldn't. It seems like they couldn't run with the Montreal receivers. The tackling was suspect. So kind of interesting and kind of excited to see maybe some change and maybe some improved play even. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that regard with the new guys. That would be kind of my thing to watch this game, is kind of where the rookies slot in. The new additions, Eric Lofton, guys like Ontario Wilson, Myron Mitchell, Bonds. I would like to see, kind of what Fox can do, Woods, Haba, the guys who are not the assumed starters from last season. That'll be the thing to watch for Thursday. And now time for the bad guys. So they've got Cody Fajardo starting back at quarterback. He's a good quarterback, not as good as Zach, but he did win the cup last year, so got to give him that. The receivers look very similar to last year. They got Philpott coming back, Julian Grant, they've Sneed. They are missing Mack from last year, who was kind of the star, so that could be a real difference. And at running back, they got Fletcher, Antwi, and Thomas Erlington. It'll probably be a committee backfield. Last year, from memory, they had Darnell. Can't remember. Don't care. But looks like a new backfield to me. Don't care that much. We're not that professional around here, okay? Just flying by the seat of our pants, talking about what we love. Don't claim to be an expert, but about every team in the league, I think I know quite a bit about the Bombers. But their defense as well will look very, very similar. They've got Lemon. Didn't realize he was still in the league. I thought he retired or got suspended, but maybe he's fighting it. Adiemi Berglund is another guy I recognize. Their linebackers look basically the same. Beverett, Sankey, Stubblefield, and then they got Decoy at safety. So without spending too much time on their roster, I think they look very similar to last year. Should probably be about the same in terms of how they're gonna look. There might be some slight differences. Every year's different. We don't know a lot about a lot of the rookies, so I think that the teams will match up really well, and I think it's going to be a close game. I don't typically do predictions per se. I think that this game will be a very, very tight game. I think it could be pretty sloppy as well, even though we have really high hopes. It could be sloppy on one side, right? It's not to say that the Bombers are going to be really sloppy. I think there will be some sloppy play from various different components with guys trying to figure things out, and it may lend the upper hand to the Bombers. The Bombers are returning so many veterans that I think that it shouldn't take too much time to gel. You've got a few guys coming in that are not necessarily seasoned veterans, so just to see how long it takes those guys to get accustomed to playing with the veterans. But when you're playing beside a guy like, Stanley Bryant, or you're playing beside Kenny Lawler, or you've got your quarterback is Zach Collaros, or you're playing on the D-line right beside Willie Jefferson, that's got to breed so much confidence. So honestly, I don't think it's going to take that much time for the team to gel. I think they're going to come out and they're going to... I think they might put up quite a few points. On the other hand, Montreal has confidence because they just beat the Bombers in the Grey Cup. So they've seen this team. They know, there will be changes. Obviously, new D coordinator with Younger as the new coordinator. So they'll be showing some new looks. But I think that this will be a really, really close game. Maybe with the Bombers starting out really hot, and maybe with Montreal kind of catching up near towards the end with a really good finish. My prediction for the game is a Bomber win. I think it's going to be by less than a score or less than a touchdown. It'll probably be by, I would say the Bombers win by 4 or 5. I think that it would be amazing, especially for the league, to get an excellent game, first game of the season, get people hooked on the CFL, and get us kicked off with a great game to start the 2024 season. Anyways, guys, that was my predictions for the game, my preview for Bombers versus Als. Once again, if you enjoy this kind of content, you just enjoy, listening to me ramble about football, hit the like and hit the subscribe button. Really, really helps me out. Tells me that you guys like this kind of stuff and that I should keep doing it. Even if you don't, I will keep making videos because it's a lot of fun. But thank you once again for watching. Anyone who took their time out of their very busy days to watch me make videos. I hope to see you guys all down at the Rum Hut, and go Bombers go. Peace.